take us to the first game then against Ireland. We're now recording for people that might listen to this later down the track in the fallow week, so after game 2. So the way that it's worked out, you played against Ireland in Dublin. Team played really well but lost that game. Played against France, didn't play as well against France but won that game, and this is the fallow week. Just take us into how it kind of unfolded in the lead up to that for you personally.
Yeah, so you get told really early in the week. So I think it was on the Monday before the Saturday game. So you're on a massive high on the Monday, but you don't really want to get too emotional and like high about it then, because you've got such a long time to the game. So you've got to kind of like suppress everything. Told my family, told everyone like that. They're on such a high, booking flights, trying to get over there and stuff, which gives you even more of a buzz. Then as you build through the week, you kind of get used to it and you know what's come in. And then what you can't really account for is like when you get into that stadium and you're singing your anthem and you're about to play for your country. Like it is incredible, but the nerves, like, I can't remember the last time I was nervous for a game. And I think that's maybe why it went so the other way this time, because the nerves suddenly kicked in and then it built that. But singing the anthem, then you're waiting for them to sing 2 anthems before you get out on the pitch. So you're just thinking everything over in your head. But no, it was really special.
Yeah. And what about before that? Because there's been a few injuries in your position, even though you've been the form winger. Were you in the squad initially or you got called up?
Yeah, I was in the squad initially.
Yeah, okay.
In the squad initially, but again, didn't know. Ollie Slightholme went unbelievably in the autumn, but he had been carrying a slight knock. And I've been in camps before where I thought I had a chance and hadn't played. So you never really know when you go into it. I just went into it like, look, I'm going to try and train as well as I can in that first week in Girona. We were out there in the sun, which was lovely. Train as well as I can and hopefully put myself in the shop window. And yeah, it happened to be that was the game.
So the anthem's nervous as fuck.
Yeah, that was the most nervous bit, because you've got your warm-up and you've got your routine. So you're going through everything in your head that you need to get ready before the game. Normal warm-up that I do for Quins, and then you go into the team bit. Get inside the changing room, you're fine, you're ready to go out. And then you have that 10-minute wait where you're singing your anthem. Then you're waiting for them to do it before you get on the pitch. And that's when it really started to build up for me.
Yeah. And confident? Like, how did you feel? Did you feel like untouchable, like with them nerves? How do you cope with nerves?
Yeah, again, like I hadn't been nervous for a game in so long, so it was kind of one of those things where like, what do I do? So I had a few little breathing exercises that I've been told by the psych at Quins, and then most of it was just focusing on like, this is just another game of rugby. Like, just go out there. You've been selected for a reason. Try and show what you can do. And
is it about trying to get an early touch? It's like, what is it for you?
Yeah, my first touch, I got absolutely banged by Matt Hansen off a box kick. So that was a tough start but my second touch I ended up scoring a try, so that got me into the game.
There you go. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. It was, I'd say, from the public perception, was a mixed game for you. Yeah. And to score a try, like you said, on your second touch, you put, was it Tom or Ben Curry you put away?
Tom.
One of the Currys. Yeah, they both look exactly the same. And then there was that one incident in the game which everyone was talking about after. Maybe just go into that, like, because and there was a couple of comments coming. I'm fucking calling people out on there. I was like, get your head in the spokes. Like, what the hell? What was your overriding view of like how the game went for you personally?
Yeah, like you said, highs and lows. I mean, things that hindsight's 2020. Like, if I could go back and change things, obviously everyone would go back and change their mistakes they made in the game. But yeah, it's part and parcel of international rugby. Like, I've seen comments about games where I'm exactly the same as you. I'm like, what? They don't know what they're on about. So I knew that those things would come no matter how the game went. And you've just got to take everything with a pinch of salt. Those people online haven't played a game for their country, probably sat in the pub, have had a few beers, calling people out because their country lost, which is fair enough. And there'll be times when I'll be looking at a football screen doing exactly, and everyone does it, mate.
Emil Heskey, I remember him. I'd be like, how is that dude?
Yeah. But then imagine you get put in that situation, and now I've been there and I know it. The pressure, like I said, the nerves, they get to you and they make you do stupid things. But still such an amazing experience, a very special day with my family, and I look back on it with fond memories still.
That's really cool that you kind of reference that and you feel that as well, because as a sports fan, I'm exactly the same.
Everyone feels like it. I'm a United fan at the moment. It's like, but like, there's no way they go out there to try and miss all those chances or don't create opportunities. So yeah, it's one of those where you've just got to take what's given to you and prove them wrong, basically.
If there was one thing that you could pick from Ireland, what's their point of difference? Would you say? So when you're looking at them, and I'm putting you on the spot here, and this is more for the Irish audience, for a player that's played against them in week one. So let me keep feeding you a few things of what I think, because they've never notoriously been the most physical team. South Africa have owned that. If you look at the All Blacks, theirs is like counter-attacking, innovation in attack. And when I look at Ireland, I struggle to pin it on one thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it the team, the strength in depth, the runners off 9, maybe they've nailed that.
Yeah,
the fact that then maybe not reliant on 10, it's Jamieson, Gibson, Park.
I think their biggest thing would be like their mindset around that, like never giving up. You look at every breakdown, they make every breakdown an absolute shit fight. And like, as a team over 80 minutes, that wears you down. Like you're trying to get into attack and you just get one little nudge on your 9. It causes something. And I think every breakdown's getting hounded. Every tackle they're fighting to try and blast through or going for a jackal. And there's just relentless pressure throughout the 80 minutes. And I think that's one of their biggest things. They are all in it together to make it as tough as they can for the opposition.
Yeah, and I think with that, I agree with you. So I think the breakdown. So I think maybe not runners off 9 now and their tip passes, that's kind of been done. And now other teams are now doing the inside tip, the outside tip, the ball at the line, props being able to play out the back. Like remember O'Malley. Is it O'Malley who's at Bath, the second row? Who was at Leinster. What's his name? Ross
Maloney.
I remember Ross Maloney when he was at Leinster, ball at the line, out the back, and it was like revolutionary. I've never seen shit like it. But I agree with you.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking at the game against Scotland, not only their attacking breakdown, Jack Conan, you mentioned him, comes on, mate, phenomenal, like world class, not just over ball, the counter ruck, getting up. And people be like, well, if it's the desire for a team to be more competitive at a breakdown, why can't everyone do it? And I'm like, but this is like deep ingrained in them over years and years. Like the wingers, for example, you look at Mac Hansen, the physicality that he's got, what James Lowe does, all the props, everyone off the bench. And I agree with you. I think it's the breakdown that sets them apart.
I agree.
Yeah. What about James Lowe? Everyone's talking about him at the minute. What is it about him that you look at? He wears the same number as you, right?
Yeah, 11. I think for him, it's just his like confidence to back himself. Like no matter if like he's got a massive left peg, obviously, but if it goes wrong, he's like, so what? I'll do it again. If he carries and doesn't, next time he's going to go again and just back himself again. And I think that's the biggest thing as a winger is just every time you get the ball, be confident. If you doubt yourself for a second, you're not going to beat your man. And that's what I think he's like. Just watching him, he just everything he does, he's like, I'm going to do whatever I want here. And if it doesn't come off, so what?
And tell you about it.
Yeah.
As well. What was he shithousing at people? You
I don't know. I was on the opposite side of the
pitch.
Was
he chirping though?
Yeah, I think there was a bit going on.
Yeah. Because I like that. And I was chatting to people before about like what's being said, and they're like, oh, you know, I was chatting to Sione Tuipulotu, and it was a bit different with him because him and Joseph Suaalii went off injured, but there is that now, isn't there? There is that little bit of niggle.
100%, and I think that's
two teams.
Because of the competitiveness, the nature of the sport, and the physicality. It is a bit of it's a man test. Rugby is a man test, isn't it?
There you go.
And you want to get on top of your opposition.